Kitty. Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. Oh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another class in Strawberry Loli's advanced kawaii course, dissertation program if you will. Even though Hello Kitty is a 101 course type of character, I mean hello, anyone who's remotely interested in kawaii stuff, she's the first character that you're introduced to pretty much. But you know, when she's on her couture-ish with the likes of uemura and whatnot, we have now crossed over into advanced thesis dissertation territory. The new people watching have no idea what I'm talking about. So I bought the uemura x Hello Kitty collaboration palette because I had forgotten that November 1st is actually Hello Kitty's birthday. Yes, she's turning 47 this year. Well, by the time this video comes out, it'll already be past November 1st, but happy birthday to Hello Kitty. Mama is looking good for 47, okay? Like, damn, she needs to drop the skincare routine or something. I had no choice practically. It would have been like so disrespectful if I didn't purchase this, so yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, let's just open this up. So this is what the outside box looks like. Very flimsy, actually. Not that I mind because I don't necessarily want brands to waste more materials and resources on superfluous outside packaging, but it's interesting that for such a deluxe product that's priced at 9,900 yen, they chose to put it in such a flimsy, thin box. It does have a Hello Kitty pattern inside though, if you can see that. Nice touch. Okay, so this is officially called the Rock the Party Eye Palette, designed in Japan and made in Korea, which I could not go to last week. Still not over that. But look at this palette, you guys. This is what it looks like. It comes with a little chain so that you can sling it over your shoulder. Isn't it so adorable but like sickening at the same time, with the faux leather and the kind of squishy material for the big Hello Kitty head lid here, and the bow is like a plush toy material. The bow honestly might be the most well executed thing out of this entire packaging. It feels very nice, like it's very firm. And it has this custom thunderbolt stitching. Okay, and when you open this up, you have all the shadows with a very nice large mirror up here. So the first thing I noticed straight away that I was very pleased with is that all the eyeshadows in this palette are full-sized, meaning that each pan contains the same amount of product as their regular line of single eyeshadow refills, which is 1.4 grams of product per pan. Except for two, it says on the back here, which are 1.2 grams. I'm guessing those are these two right here, the XXL glitters, which makes sense because these are like large pressed glitters, so they're probably not as dense and heavy as the other ones. But yeah, if you watched my review on the last uemura and Sadaharu Aoki collection, you might recall that those eyeshadow pans were kind of tiny. They only contained 1.0 grams of product, so it wasn't really a full-sized palette. And if I'm honest, the palette itself, although very beautiful and still very well executed, it did feel a little flimsy overall and just like, you know, like a miniature palette. Fortunately though, that's not the case this time around. The Hello Kitty collaboration is very close to what they did with the One Piece collaboration, which I also reviewed. As far as the layout, design, even the box that it came in, this is the most similar, I think, to the One Piece release. But even though it has a similar design and materials and all of that, I do think that the Hello Kitty palette is by far the better quality one, as it should be considering the price. The One Piece palette, the part that was kind of underwhelming to me was the fact that it was kind of just a thin, glossy paper coating. However, the Hello Kitty palette is a thicker and sturdier, like faux leather, actual fabric material. You can see that overall it's just better made. Like even the stitching is also really nice and clean around the edges. And on the inside as well, they even have this nice silk fabric lining on the mirror side. So I just feel like this one is better made overall out of all the uemura collaborations that I've tried as of late. Now let me give you a breakdown of all the shades and formulations that come in this palette. As always, uemura doesn't give individual names to each of the shades. They're basically just designated by the initial of whatever formulation that shade is, and then numbered in ascending order. I'm gonna translate the Japanese descriptions because I feel like they're just more descriptive than the English. So here we go. In this palette you get 2 M shades, which stands for melting matte, 2 of the ME or metallic formulations, they call them reflecting metallics in Japanese, one P shade, which is their iridescent pearl formula, two PR or prismatic shades. In the Japanese description, it specifically says 3D prismatic pearl, one G or sparkling glitter shade, and last but not least, two XXL shades, which is their newest blinding pressed glitter formulation. I'm guessing XXL refers to the larger size of the glitters, and they describe it as being super reflective like a disco ball. So that would of course be the purple and silver shades right here. Now I'm just going to show you a really quick sped up clip of me applying the look that I have on my eyes today. I don't think there's much value in walking through each step because I'm really not doing anything out of the ordinary. So yeah, just in the interest of saving time, I'm just gonna roll the footage. As you can see, I tried to use as many colors as possible here. I think it came out decent looking, like not my best work, but decent enough. I just wanted to film something really quickly and get my first impressions up for you guys ASAP. So yeah, the overall look, especially combined with the red lip and everything, I think it came out pretty cute. And I'm pretty proud of my free-handed star and lightning bolt drawing skills, if I may say so myself. I wasn't sure if I had it in me for a moment there, but it turned out all right. Okay, so overall, let me just give you my overarching thoughts on this palette. Aside from the purple and silver XXL glitters, it's basically like a very neutral, warm, peachy brown palette, right? Which at first glance, I was a little bit not disappointed because I can appreciate a good neutral palette, you know, we all, who doesn't love that? But I was just kind of worried, like, oh, is it gonna look good on me against my skin tone in particular, or are the light shades just gonna disappear? Will they make me look washed out? Like, those were my initial reservations looking at this palette. I actually think that the other palette in this collection, the one that's not shaped like a Hello Kitty head, is just a regular rectangular format. The color story in that one is actually much more my speed, if I'm honest, with the sultry burgundy tones and whatnot. But of course I had to get this one for the gram. I mean, come on. You can even wear it as a purse. Not that anyone would actually wear this out in real life. I can't see how this would be practical in any way. Why would you ever need to carry around an eyeshadow purse with you, aside from just taking pictures again for the gram? But yeah, at the end of the day, I do appreciate like the mixture of wearable and party colors. I especially love the whole purple and silver combination here. I feel like it's such a rare combo that you don't see that often. And I know that with uemura, I can trust that they will get the undertones and everything correct so that the two shades actually look good when they're placed side by side. Even with the more boring neutral shades in this palette, they grew on me after I swatched and started playing around with them more. Just like you would expect with most uemura eyeshadows, they're very creamy, silky, lightweight. I didn't detect any inconsistencies between the shades either, where one was patchier or drier than the others. I kind of ran into that problem with previous collaborations by Shu, so I'm very happy about that this time. Then again, these shades are pretty hard to mess up, but you know, for what it's worth, yeah, they all blended very seamlessly together. I had no issues whatsoever, no matter what brush I was using or if I was using my fingers. The shadows pretty much blended themselves out. Oh, and I also experimented with, this is something I really enjoy doing lately. So today I used this shade for blush and this one for my highlight. And yeah, I think that they are just great colors for multitasking. I'm really glad that I thought to use this one in particular. as my highlight today because, to be honest with you, this was actually the shade that I was least enthused about, PR1, just upon first glance. It just looked so beige and boring to me. It's like a concealer shade in an eyeshadow format. I already primed my eyes with a nude flesh colored eyeshadow primer base to even out the color. So what's the point of having an eyeshadow in that exact shade as well? But luckily, this turned out to actually have a really nice subtle pearl finish that doubles perfectly as a glowy natural golden highlight. So yay for that. This leads me to my final point, which is probably the biggest takeaway of this entire review. And that would be regarding the XXL glitters. So these are beautiful, first of all. The purple one is like not all purple. It's actually a mix of mostly purple, but also some red glitters and maybe some silver too. I don't know if you can see. There is a higher ratio of the purple than the red, but when you turn them in the light, you can see the red particles piercing through that sea of purple, and it's a really, really unique effect. The silver is also my kind of silver that I really enjoy, where it's like instead of being a darker gray, like metallic silver, it has a really light, almost pastel gray base. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but yeah, a really, really light gray blue base with a lot of multicolored reflective glitter particles that change color, again, depending on what angle the light reflects on it. I'm not going to swatch anymore because it's going to get everywhere, but yeah, so the silver one really has that like super platinum glittery effect if you do a medium to sparse coverage with it, like I have on my lids here. If you pack on too much though, like if you want to build it up to the point where it's opaque, which is what I tried to do with this Thunderbolt here, it can actually look almost chalky. Like not chalky, not in a bad way, but it does kind of suppress that shimmering glitter effect. I guess because there's nothing for the light to pass through if you make the base super opaque. So just another thing to note. So I just want to emphasize that as beautiful as the XXL glitters are, they are still as difficult to work with as you would expect of pretty much any pressed glitter formulation, if that makes sense. From what I've experienced, because I think I've tested enough glitters from Western and Asian brands, Korean brands at this point, pressed glitter is just hard to work with, period. Tricky at best. Liquid glitters is another story. Maybe I should invest more into liquid glitters, honestly. But yeah, pressed glitters, at least in my experience, are definitely just across the board difficult to work with cleanly. So just to manage expectations, please don't expect that these glitters are just miraculously going to be clean and perfect to work with just because they're uemura. Honestly, it was the hugest mess that I feel like I've ever made during filming when trying to work with these XXL glitters today. The base for these are just not as sticky and emollient as I was hoping or expecting them to be. Once you swatch or take a swipe, whether it's with your finger or it's with a brush, it's very, very prone to just falling apart. In fact, these will loosen up pretty much immediately upon contact with any type of tool, and you'll find yourself like delicately trying to press it back into the pan because it will lift up and get all over the place, whether you use a brush or your finger. It's not drying or anything like that. Like, it's actually very comfortable when on the face. I can't feel it at all right now, but it's definitely not good at self-adhering. Yeah, there was just a lot of glitter flying everywhere today. Right now you can't see unless I zoom in, but I have glitter all over my face, in my hair, all over my outfit, probably inside my camera as well. It's a lot. Part of it is kind of my fault because I tried to use the XXLs without any type of extra eyeshadow base or glue or anything like that. I just wanted to see how well they could hold up on their own, and yeah, I have to say that was just not the way to go. It was very, very messy and very difficult. Like, it really, really did not want to stick to my skin, especially when I was trying to do really detailed work like these, you know, thin edges on the edges of the star and whatnot. So eventually I did have to enlist the help of some extra eyeshadow base, my ABH eyeshadow primer that I always use, almost always in these videos. I don't own any glitter glue, but if you do and you're planning to pick up this palette, I would definitely suggest to just save yourself the headache and lay down that glitter glue before you attempt to apply any of the XXL glitters onto your face. But yeah, it's definitely Be prepared to handle these very, very delicately. There's gonna be kick up and fallout no matter what you do, no matter how careful you are. In fact, there was actually a point during my application where I was scared that I was actually gonna hit pan on one of these just because I was going back and forth so many times. Like it just wasn't sticking to my face. It kept disintegrating whenever I tried to add more layers on. And on top of that, I had to keep brushing away the residue on my face, on the palette, to the point where I was like, all right, if I want to end up with any glitter left in these palettes by the end of this filming, I'm gonna have to enlist the help of a sticky base. There's no two ways around it. So that is my first impression of the uemura and Hello Kitty Rock the Party eyeshadow palette. Aside from the huge learning curve surrounding the XXL glitters, I am really enjoying it so far. I'm vibing with the color story a lot more than I initially thought, and I can't wait to play with it more. Let me know if you are planning on picking up this palette or anything else from this collection. It seems like this is one of their bigger collaborations that is actually getting like a big international release. I don't remember off the top of my head the full list of countries, but I saw that this was going to be available in a bunch of different countries, both in Asia and in the West. So even if you're not in Japan or Asia, there's a good chance that you might actually be able to get your hands on this collection if you're interested. I hope my little review was useful or informative in any way. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!